were almost finished making films, the Benegals and Ketan Mehtas, and my own teacher Manikal. He had, I don't know, it was a long time since he made his last film. So, and then the television was ruled by the Saas Bahu serials. So it was a very, actually, it was a very depressing phase we came out in, and we didn't know what to do. And digital, the digital technology was just very initial. I mean, there was no, I mean, I was the last batch of FTI which trained just in analog technology. So, and after that, the digital was ignored. I had never seen a digital camera, even in the institute. And, but then I felt, I was deeply interested in photography. And I always wanted to be a cinematographer, actually. And, but not having a science background, I landed up doing this direction. So I was like, I said, okay, I will study in FTI direction, then go back to do cinematography without training in cinematography. And I felt that cinematography didn't need any training, the kind of because I was very influenced by photojournalism, and so I felt I don't need any training for that. I don't want to do these big budget films which need lots of equipment, lights, heavy generators, and all that. So yeah, so I just picked up a camera and I started making films. Just bought a camera, and I thought there was no other way. Learned non-linear editing myself. First time saw a Mac. First time edited on the Final Cut Pro. Everything learned from friends. You know, even using a camera, and then just kept working. Luckily, I had grants to travel in Punjab, document the oral traditions. So, being from Delhi, and then coming face to face with with the rural Punjab, with the with the subaltern, with the what you say, with the oral traditions, um, and I always wanted to be a documentary filmmaker, and I was simply not interested in fiction filmmaking. Um, but then something happened, by after 7 8 years of making these, what you say, small budget documentaries, which were funded from here and there, working for NGOs. I felt, this I was hitting a kind of a dead end. And documentary in terms of form is very liberating. But then I felt, if I wanted to see the other side, I wanted to explore the formalism. I would not use the word formalism, but say get into a more kind of a narrative, experimental cinema, which stemmed from a lot of my understanding of film theory or or from filmmakers whom I had admired, like Bresson, Ozu, Tarkovsky. I needed to do a different kind of practice now, and luckily I was in touch with Mr. Manikal, who was my mentor. I'm very fortunate to have him as a teacher, and I will say that if today I'm making films, it's only because of him and nobody else. Yeah. So to have a teacher who can inspire you, who can I mean, in fact, one day I almost told him on the phone that I want to quit filmmaking and I want to do something else. And I paint also, so I thought I'll take my painting more seriously and quit filmmaking. He said, he just listened to me very patiently, and he said, theory and practice are like two wings of a bird. So that was it. And I think just within a few days I started writing the screenplay of Anne Ghudeladan, which was a novel which I had read when I was in the institute. And thanks to him, and also I would really like to thank the National Film Development Corporation, who's NFDC at that time, who were coming up with this new initiative of relaunching regional cinema. I mean, debut films of filmmakers making films in regional cinema. It was a great initiative which just restarted at that time, thanks to Nina Lad Gupta. Actually, there's some, that's one name we cannot miss here. You know, yeah. So Manikal and Nina Lal Gupta were the two people who kind of, were instrumental in getting this film made. Mani saw the potential, and thanks. I would like. I mean, and unfortunately, he passes away when I just finished shooting the film, and he never got to see the film. But yes, so that was the first film. Deepti was the first person to see it at the NFDC office with Marco Mueller, who was the director of the Venice Film Festival at that time. And yes, the film did well. It went to a lot of festivals. It got me a lot of financial awards, which was a big thing at that time. That for me it was like I had never seen that kind of money in my life. So if I suddenly I felt so confident that you could live by making this kind of not sad, but you can survive by making a kind of radical cinema, which and it has its own space in this universe. Maybe not a lot of audience, but it definitely has its space backing. And then I went to make Chauthi Koot, which was an Indo-French co-production. And I would like to thank Catherine Dussart again, here, a person who has supported art house cinema. Somebody like Riti Pan has made all his films with Catherine Dussart. And Catherine Dussart, I just walked into a party, at a Hong Kong Film Festival and just said, "Here's my script and here's the DVD of the film I have made." And that's it. That was it. And 10 days I get a mail. I like the script. Let's do the film. So that's how Chothikut got initiated. And again, NMDC participated in it. And then, yes, so now I'm making films with kind of more private support. Bobby Bedi has produced my previous two films. In Achani Raat, he got some big names like Manmohan Shetty to back the film. So it's just a kind of a group of friends who pulled in little money to make the film. But the challenge remains distribution. Distribution remains a big challenge, especially for somebody like me who's making films in a regional language which does not have any art house. I mean, you are lucky, to be making, at least you are making films in Bangla, which has a great long tradition, from Ray or whatever. So, so Yudhajit is here, he's a young filmmaker from FTI whose short film went to Cannes. So, I feel, that is, you belong to a tradition. I didn't belong to any tradition, and nobody had heard of, and some critic in a Punjabi press wrote one day after watching Anegura, and then finally Punjab has a Satyajit Ray. I said, no, you don't understand Ray if you're calling me Ray. And neither you understand my film. So yeah, the challenge remains. Even I mean, my last film, Achani Raat, the OTTs are simply not taking it because it's a Punjabi film. If it was in Hindi, they would have blindly taken the film. And so it's like they will show they will show B grade, C grade Punjabi films, which are the kind of cinema with just which is nothing but a series of jokes, which are also mostly patriarchal and misogynist. They will show that cinema on Netflix and Amazon, but they will not take my film. That is a serious, I think critique of so OTT. When everybody was like, when yes, Chothikut was in Netflix, but then you don't have those many views. So 3 years later, you are taken off. Same was with Ane Godadan. They don't repeat your film after that. Um, and and we really felt, with OTT we had a distribution platform, and we could, and this was a new platform to a new medium to showcase our films. But then I feel like we are back to square one. I mean, the filmmakers of the new wave used to complain that there's no distribution in dedicated theaters. Now we complain that the OTTs don't take our films or don't pay that much. They pay. I'm sorry to say, take some name, but I mean, Mubi has offered to take my films, but the kind of money they're offering, it's a shame. Sorry, I mean, Mubi, but I'm taking this name here, but you really, we cannot sell. No producer will sell the film for that kind of an amount, which they offer. And
Sorry, I just want a little clarity on a very important and sensitive issue, which in a way actually is language fascism. But I wanted to ask you, is this something that you understood by a discussion with them, or an assumption that
with
because it
whom?
wasn't in Hindi, with whoever you spoke to for streaming, that you felt that because it was Punjabi, it's
No, 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 it's not. I mean, there's no direct conversation, and the conversation is always through an agent. That's another issue, So what is the conversation the agent is having with the OTT? We don't know. We are not in the picture anywhere. But there is no other reason.
or even for next Mami.
I mean, there was a case that where Amazon had taken an Odia film, and suddenly they realized that Odia is not supposed to be on their list of films, and the film was withdrawn after 10 days. This is the case.
In a country
How
that
can a
makes
film
films,
not?
yeah.
How can a language spoken by this language of a state not be on the list? So I really appeal to through this platform to do it is to kind of just have more confidence in the audience. They did, and not just be driven by numbers, or uh, so I mean there's just simply lack of. I mean, they think the Punjabi audience will not watch my film. I think everybody will come on board and watch the film. And there's a huge, I mean, a diaspora audience also, which they can reach. So why not? What is the reluctance? And and these are small budget films. We are not like asking for 20, 30 crores. We're asking for maybe two, three. So, and success and failure. I think I've yet to make a film which is successful, and I'm yet to make a film which is failure. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing. I just also wanted to take up a point from what Govinda just shared. This is really ironic and tragic because in this one country alone, we make films in 55 languages and dialects in one country, which is way more than the film languages of the whole of the European Union subcontinent, which speaks of so much richness of storytelling in this country, but also for very splintered regional markets, which of course is a challenge to cross. But yeah, thank you for sharing that, Govinda. Nabin Dai, would you like to share your insights, please?
Yeah, thank you, Meenakshi. First of all, please bear with my English. Um, yeah, as Faruqi said that, we are also very much influenced by Bollywood and, pressurized by Bollywood in market-wise and, in each and every aspect. But yeah, as he said that in India, there was a parallel movement, and we also educated, watching Bollywood films, parallel and both kind of films. And when I joined the industry during that time in Nepal, most of the Nepali films were copied from a Bollywood films, like two or three, like the producer will